got a whole lot of money. Whole lot of money. I got a whole lot of money. Whole lot of money. Got a whole lot of money. You can't hold nothing from me. I got a whole lot of money. I got a whole lot of money. I got a whole lot of money.
What's up, fellas? It's your boy Vancouver for the final time of the 2020 season. Welcome in to the Fantasy Football Podcast. We made it through to the end of the season. It was a little iffy there at times. I know at the beginning of the year we weren't sure if we'd make it all the way through or not, but we did it. There were a couple weeks when we had some games pushed to Tuesday. Was there a Wednesday game in there somewhere? Maybe a Steelers game on a Wednesday? I think so. And we had a couple of bad situations with players getting sat because of COVID. Besides that, excuse me, it wasn't too different than normal fantasy football season. So thank you guys so much for participating again. Who knows if we'll be back next year. People are dropping out left and right. Pat's gone AWOL. Skip's in ghost mode. No one's heard from him. Is he still around? No one knows. Hopefully we'll all be back next year. I love you guys. I love this league. This is really the only thing I have going for me in my life. Is that sad? I don't know. You guys tell me. All right. I'm going to hit you guys with a recap of the two matches this week that actually mattered. Those are just going to be the two matches for money. Everything else is already decided. No one gives a shit who finishes 5th and 6th, and we already know who came in last, so it doesn't matter. But I'm going to hit you guys with a recap of those. We're going to get these end of the season awards. Got a couple awards for you guys, and then we will say peace to the 2020 season. So let's get started with this recap. I'm going to start with the matchup for third place. This was Bearman against Gibbsy. And these teams got here in two different ways. Bear was the number 2 seed, had a bye the first round of the playoffs, and he loses a disappointing match to Skip in the semifinals. Gibbsy kind of just hung around all season. You know, I don't want to be insulting to Gibbsy. He was never a great team, but he wasn't bad. He just kind of was right there on that edge of making the playoffs. But, you know, kudos to him. He got past the first round, lost in the semifinals to Brown, but who can blame him for that? Because, Brown was team of destiny over here. We all knew he was going to win. So for third and fourth place, this was who was going to get their money back. And I think that's it. Yeah, fourth place doesn't get anything. I can't even remember. Fourth place doesn't get anything. So this matchup was to see who was going to get their money back. Let's start with Gibbsy's team, the trade rape of Andrew Rigsby. Patrick Mahomes starts off for him with an average 23 points. He has 2 touchdowns and interception, adds 3 carries on the ground for 21 yards. Adam Thielen put up nice numbers, 23 points. He has 8 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown. Curtis Samuel, he does it on the ground, 7 rushes for 52 yards, adds 5 catches for 106 yards as well, finishes with 20.8 points. We also got Lenny in there. Lenny, 3 catches for 32 yards, 9 rushes for 34 yards. Those aren't really great stats, but he did sneak in for a touchdown, so he finishes with 15 points. This is a Gibbsy game, man. This is what Gibbsy's been doing all season. I think he finished with around 138 points. That's like on the high end of what he's been doing all season, but he's really been hanging in around there between 100 and 140 points all season. So that's a decent game for Gibbsy's squad. Wayne Gallman, fucking 5th string running back for the Giants, whatever string he is, 6 rushes for 27 yards, only 7 points. You got T.Y. Hilton, 3 catches for 60 yards. He finishes with 9. And then Tyreek has a below average day. He only has 4 catches for 65. Cannot find the end zone. That was a low scoring game. Chiefs beat Atlanta 17-14, but Tyreek only puts up 10.5. So Gibbsy ends up with 138. I believe he was winning going into Monday night, the Bills game. Bills versus Patriots. I believe Gibbsy was winning. My man Bear still had Josh Allen playing. We'll get to Josh Allen in a minute. The rest of his team, Allen Robinson, 10 for 103, solid game for 20 points. Deontay Johnson managed to only drop the ball, 6 times? No, I'm sorry. That's how many targets. 14 targets, 8 catches. I'm sure he dropped a couple of those. 75 yards and a touchdown. He finishes with 21 points. Bears team, honestly, it wasn't too great. I mean, DeAndre Swift with 9 points. TJ Hawkinson with only 6 points. Darrell Henderson Jr., 12 rushes for 62 yards and 6 points. Nothing super exciting. My man needed a performance from Josh Allen Monday night to win this game, and he got it. Josh Allen just over here doing Josh Allen things. 4 touchdowns, 320 yards. He adds 35 yards rushing on the ground, finishes with 40 points. That is enough to put Bear over the top. Bear wins this one 134 to 128. That's how close it was. Josh Allen has just a slightly above average game instead of going out of his mind. Bear doesn't win that one. Gibbsy finishes third. As it is, Bear wins, finishes in third place. Congratulations, Bear man. Gibbsy, congratulations on a great season. You worked with what you had. You made it to the consolation, to the third place game. Congratulations, buddy. Let's take a look now at the championship match. This is the one everyone cares about. You know, we're all giving Brown shit, telling Brown he won this thing fucking 7 weeks ago. Brown's already the champ, trying to reverse Brown him, already giving him the fucking medal and the prize money. But honestly, this was a good matchup. It really was, or had the makings of a good matchup. And if it wasn't for one fucking thing, it would have been a lot better matchup. And we'll talk about that in a second. Let's start with Pat's team. Let's take a look at Pat's team here. Aaron Rodgers against Tennessee. I don't know what the Titans are, man. I keep hearing everyone says they're a good team. They're a good team. And they have these fucking weird games like this where they just get their doors blown off, or they play Cleveland and fucking Derrick Henry only has 10 rushing yards. Aaron Rodgers goes 231 yards, 4 touchdowns. He does throw an interception, but he still finishes with 32 points. We have Chris Godwin against Detroit. Tampa Bay had a fucking monster game against Detroit. They win that game 47-7. Godwin goes 5 for 84 with a touchdown to finish with 19 points. We got Jonathan Taylor, who's really come into his own the last few weeks. He finishes with 19 points. He has 74 yards on the ground. But more importantly, he has 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins, who came over in the trade with Andrew, really has slightly below average day. He only finishes with 12 points. The problem with Hoppy, man, he gets the volume. You know, he went 8 for 48, not a lot of yards there, and he couldn't find the end zone. So unfortunately, only finishes with 12 points. Mark Andrews gets 13 points, 6 catches for 76. Kiki Cotier only has 10 points, 5 for 54. And then Derrick Henry, disappointing. Derrick Henry, again, in that loss to Green Bay. He does rush for 98 yards, but I mean, that's all he had. So that's 9.8 points. He didn't get a touchdown, no catches out of the backfield, 9.8 points. So Derrick Henry, you're expecting a little bit more from him. Let's go down to Brown's team and talk about, he got 10 points from Will Lutz too. Let's give Will Lutz some props. Will Lutz, who came over in a trade earlier this year for Skip, finishes the season strong, goes 7 for 7 on extra points. 7 for 7? Jesus. Yeah, I forgot New Orleans scored that many touchdowns. Fuck. 7 for 7 on extra points, 1 for 1 on field goals, 10 points. Let's go down to Brown's team and talk about why Brown won the championship. This started on, I want to say Friday night is when the Saints played, if that's correct, the Christmas game Friday night. Alvin Kamara lost his damn mind. My man had 22 carries for 155 yards. Fine. That's good enough in itself. If he didn't find the end zone once, you still say, my man had 155 rushing yards. Great. He had 3 catches for only 17 yards. All right, that's whatever. My man had 6 rushing touchdowns. 6. My man ate his Wheaties. 6 rushing touchdowns. And one of those, you can argue, was horseshit because not that he shouldn't have scored it, but it came at the end of the game. he had 5 touchdowns with like less than 3 minutes left, and the Saints got the ball back and he got his last one. Dude scores 6 touchdowns. I can't remember what the stat was. It was like something ridiculous since the last time a single player scored that many touchdowns. 56 points he finishes with. So honestly, Brown was starting the weekend with a fucking huge leg up, which again is unfortunate. You'll see how the final score shakes out. Could have been a closer match, but it is what it is. Honestly, you look at Kyler Murray, below average day, only 14.5 points. That was a very low scoring game. 247, 1 interception, no touchdowns on the day. You had Travis Kelce go for 22 points, 7 for 98 with a touchdown. J.D. McKissick had only 4 rushes for 15 yards, but he had 77 receiving yards and a touchdown for 23 points. So I'll just, you guys already know what happened. So after Sunday night was over, Brown had won. Pat was done. The game was over. But Brian decided to take a fucking victory lap. Stefon Diggs, my man Stefon Diggs. I told you guys this in the group chat. Kelsey needed Stefon Diggs to score less than 20 points to win her championship. She's looking at his scores all season. Oh, he's only scored 20 points in like 4 or 5 games this season. It's the second quarter. He only has like 0.3 points in her league because it's only half point PPR. She's like, it's great. It's the second quarter. Whew, she fucked up. Someone told Stefon Diggs. He caught wind of it. He knew Kelsey was talking shit because my man lost his mind. He came out, had 9 catches for 145 yards, 3 touchdowns. He finishes with 41.5 points. So if it wasn't bad enough that Champ Brown already fucking won, he had to put a little mushroom stamp right on Pat's head. And how fitting this is for the first and only time this season we have a team score over 200 points, and it's in the championship game. This is why I was talking about if Stefon, you take 20 points off of Stefon Diggs' score, if he scores at a slightly above average 20 points or 24 points, and then Kamara doesn't score fucking 50, he scores only maybe 20 points, that puts that game at really close. But that's not what happened. That's not how fantasy football works. So, Brown, once again, congratulations. You are the champ. You did it in fucking style. And I'm sure when Pat finishes digging your shoe out of his ass, he will come back to the chat and be ready for next season. All right, so we're done with that. Let's take a look at these final standings. This includes the playoff bracket. So don't be confused by my awesome record down at the bottom there. Brown, we obviously know he wins. 10 wins. Pat finishes second. Bear finishes third. We got the fucking St. Charles boys holding down the top up there. Gibbsy finishes a respectable fourth. Mitch takes care of Clint, who I think has lost his last four games in a row, so did not finish the season strong. He finishes in sixth. Then we have Ange, your boy, Dale, and Vinny Bananas bringing up that rear. Vinny Bananas continues our long-standing tradition of the person who won first place finishing in dead-ass last the next year. So, Brian, you have that to look forward to. Go fuck yourself. All right, let's get to these awards. Boom, back. All right. There was only a couple of these I did the same ones as last year. I kind of just pulled these out of my ass. I took some from the internet. These aren't really anything super exciting, but I thought it was fun, and it gives you a little insight to some of the statistics this season. So we're going to start off with one that's a repeat from last year. Not only is an award a repeat, the winner is a repeat, and you guys already know what this is. This is the Bill Polian Award for the most active GM. This is the guy, the manager who had the most trades, ads, drops, pickups, whatever, over the course of the whole season. And this, the person who won this one had a whopping 66 roster moves this season. This goes to Patrick Rigsby. You know what? Because I have this background on, you guys aren't going to be able to see these very well. It's the exact same award as last year. You guys can't see that. I'm not even going to here. There you go. It's the exact same award as last year. So I don't have to hold these up. It just says Pat Rigsby, Bill Polian Award. He had 66 roster moves. To give you put that in perspective, he had 66. That was first. The next highest was 50. That was Brown, and then MJ was in third with 44. So Pat far and away had the most there. Congratulations, Pat. The next award is not really a fun award, or I should say it's not a good award to be proud of. This is Vinny Bananas gets this award. This is the Buster Award. This is going to be who I consider the biggest draft bust. I was really looking at the first, the first 1 or 2 rounds, and I took injuries out of the equation. Someone who gets a really bad injury, that's not really a draft bust. That's just fucking bad luck. Look at the top 3 picks. You had CMC out for most of the year. Saquon only played a game and a quarter. Zeke wasn't injured. He just fucking sucked this year. But it's not really a bust because Zeke was still the number 10 fantasy running back this year. So the Buster Award goes to Vinny Bananas for drafting Clyde Edwards-Helaire, number 7. He didn't really have injury issues. He's only missed 2 games this year. And when he was in the game, he averaged only 13.5 points. I think he finished as the 18th or 19th running back overall. I think a big problem there was halfway through the season, they brought in Le'Veon Bell, which took carries away. But yeah, definitely, man, that's averaging 13.5 points a game. That's a first-round running back. So that is the Buster Award for the biggest draft bust this season. Next up, we have the Streaking Award. We're going streaking. Yeah. This is for the longest win streak. And surprise, fucking surprise. Guess who got this one, guys? My man Brone gets the Streaking Award. I wish you guys could see these. You can kind of see it. He, at one point in the season, had 7 wins between week 5 and 11. He rang off 7 wins in a row. To put that in perspective, we had Skip, Bear, Hooch, and Mitch all had 4 wins in a row at one point this season. And I'm counting regular season. I wasn't really counting the playoffs. But to be fair, Andrew also had 4 wins in a row from the end of the season through the playoffs. So we had a handful of guys with 4 wins in a row. But Brian, 7 wins in a row. He dominated all season. Good job, buddy. Like you can hang that next to your championship award. The next award is the Antonio Brown Whole Lot of Money Award. This is for the person who, or the highest single bid on a player this year. I went back through and looked, and I was writing these down because there was a couple where, Vinny Bananas had $33 on one guy and $34 on one guy. So I'm writing them down. Like, I keep track of this. The winner wasn't even close. Far and away. Andrew Taylor, I completely forgot this. He bid $50 to get AJ Green at one point this season. So Andrew Taylor wins the Whole Lot of Money Award. Congratulations, Coach Taylor. AJG. There you go, buddy. All right, rolling through these. The next award is named after Alex Smith's fucking broke-ass Lego leg that's in like 12 pieces. This is the Alex Smith Comeback Manager of the Year Award. This goes to the manager. And it's not necessarily exact because there's a couple guys who had similar records. This is who I felt did the best job of bringing his team back from last year. This goes to Patrick Ryan Rigsby, who made the championship game, looked good doing it. My man missed the playoffs last year, only had 5 wins. So the Comeback Player of the Year award goes to Patrick Rigsby. Again, 5 wins in 2019, comes back strong, makes the championship game. This next award, this is a consolation award. There's that thing in Miss America pageant where like the fucking girl that never is actually going to win anything, and she's not the prettiest, she doesn't have the biggest tits, but everyone really likes her, so they call her Miss Congeniality. This is kind of like that. This is the Andrew No Luck Award. This is for a manager who really just had horrible luck. You guys might have forgotten this. At the beginning of the season, there was one manager who really just got effed in the A hard with some injuries. So the winner of the Andrew No Luck Award is going to be Mitch Booves Broski Benner. Mitch, by the 3rd week in the season, 5 of his top 10 picks were injured. And hit all 3 of his top 3. Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams, Le'Veon Bell, Cortland Sutton, and Sterling Shepard were all on the injury list in week 3. And a couple of those guys were on the IR, so they're out for a few weeks. So, Mitch, you pulled it back. You didn't make the playoffs. I don't think you made the playoffs. Yeah, you made the playoffs. Yeah, you made the playoffs. Well, that's even better. Mitch made the playoffs. You came back from that, man. Seriously, you had half your top 10 picks were out for multiple weeks that early in the season. So this is the Andrew No Luck Award that goes to Mitch. You really just had horrible luck, but good job on how you finished your season. All right, we got only 2 left. This next award, this is for the coach of the year, and this is all encompassing. So this isn't like the guy who made the best trade. This isn't or who made the most moves. This is not the league champion award. That's different. You can say that Brian had the best draft in the beginning for how his team ended up because he didn't have to make a ton of moves. But this is like the overall who I thought was the best coach this year. This is a guy who lost his number 2 pick less than halfway through the season for the year, basically. This is a guy who drafted his quarterback, the 10th quarterback taken overall. He picked up this quarterback, and this guy ended up being a top 3 quarterback this year. I'll just tell you who it is because I'm not going to read all this shit through. It goes to Bear Rigsby, my man Bear. Bear Rigsby gets the Randy Fichtner Coach of the Year award. I'm going to read some of the stuff I wrote down here. Bear at one point traded OBJ to Pat for Deontay and DeAndre Swift. Deontay Johnson and DeAndre Swift. Face value, when you look at that, no one could possibly tell if that's a good trade or not because we don't know what OBJ did the rest of the season. There's a lot of people that argue that OBJ is actually going to do worse in Cleveland because he changes how Baker plays the game and how they have to call plays. We're not going to talk about all that. But the point is, OBJ ends up getting hurt a couple weeks later. Deontay and DeAndre both play really well for Bear. Deontay Johnson he had a slow start to the season. He ends up being a top 20 wide receiver. DeAndre ends up being a top 20 running back. He was averaging something like 14.5 points a game, something like that. He started his season 0-2. The running back I was talking about, by the way, was Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon goes out halfway through the season. Bear starts his season 0-2. He finishes strong 8-3. He gets a first-round bye. He has an unlucky semifinal match against Pat, but my man had a great season. Overall, all around with the draft, everything, he had a great draft. He managed his team really well. So the Coach of the Year, again, Randy Fichtner Coach of the Year award goes to Bear Man. There's only one award left. You guys know what it is. This person, more than anyone, any other winner of this league, ran the table. He really did. This dude, he finished with a 10-3 regular season record. I'm going to read you off some of these stats. Brown, his point differential, his average basically points in a game, his winning margin were 21 points. His average point differential was plus 20.9. This dude was winning his games on average by 21 points. The next closest point differential was Bear at 9.7. That is disgusting. Brown doubles up the next guy on point differential. He's the only team this year to score over 200 points. He also had the next highest score, which was like 192 or 193 at one point this season. He's averaged 153 points a game. Just unreal. He had a great season from start to finish. So here it is, guys. Here is your last award for 2020. Here's your league champion, Mr. Brown Luciano. Congratulations, buddy. Sorry you guys can't see these that well, but there you go. Thanks again for watching. If you guys watched these at all this year, I hope you enjoyed it. Can't wait to see you guys next season. Brown's going to decide where we're doing the draft. I don't know if we'll have 8 teams, 10 teams, 6 teams. 12 teams. Who knows? We'll figure all that out. I hope on a like sincere, low key note, I hope no one's feelings are hurt. I think we all, at the end of the day, enjoy playing fantasy football. We all like it. And I love all you guys, and I don't want anyone to feel isolated or anything like that. I think we all know at the end of the day that we're all just fucking bullshitters. And when it comes down to it, you know, I don't want anyone taking anything personally. So I love you guys. I hope everyone's back next year. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Have a great off season, because I'm sure I won't talk to any of you in the group chat for the next 6 months. And I will see you guys in 7-8 months for the draft.
Let me put a little raise in. Whole lot of money. Whole lot of money. Got a whole lot of money. Whole lot of money. I got a whole lot of money. Whole lot of money. Got a whole lot of money.